What's up guys, this is Saiyan here coming at you with another unboxing video, and I'm doing something that I've promised that I wouldn't do. I got some Dragon Ball Super card game stuff for you guys. It's just an opening video really. The reason why I picked this up is obviously if you've been watching stuff on my channel, then you saw that I am a big fan of the color black in this card game. I have been playing, and I still have an active deck of the Mass Saiyan, and I did try my luck with the Toa Leader. I ran a Demigra deck, so a lot of I suppose experience with black cards, and this particular starter did catch my attention eventually. Reason being for that is because it does give us a really good leader, and it gives us some very nice starter exclusive cards as well. And of course, it's fully loaded with reprints. And to be fair, that is something that Bandai does really well in this card game. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get the trusty scissors out, and let's check out what's inside this bad boy. Alright, so as you would expect, the trusty scissors get the job done. Although I do find with the Super, listen, check this out. You don't actually need the scissors. It's really easy to tear it open, and then you just open it up like that, and voila, we're inside a box. I am expecting the same old stuff. Okay, yeah, there you go. You got your battlefield. Let's have a quick look at this. Okay, so we got the Unison card, and we got the Awakened side of the leader on this one. They're always really nice. I mean, they're usable, and they include it in every set. It's not like that you're giving up on them. The keyword skills is always a very useful tool to have with you. I keep saying this time and time out that it's really good if you have these on hand, because you're not necessarily playing all the time, and certainly, as you can see, the list of keyword skills is just growing and growing with this card game. So we got this, and of course we got our rule manual. This is version 2.0. I'm pretty sure that this was at a stage like at a version higher than version 2, but I don't know, doesn't really matter. And then the obligatory sea life killing plastic, excellent stuff, and the box with the deck list on the back, which is really cool. Okay, so we got the little tab somewhere here. Just pull that around and you're inside the starter. Okay, so what do we have here? So we got the obviously we got the sort of super rare foiled Unison card, and we also have our leaders. There you go. This is Super Saiyan Goreng's Fusion of Friendship. It basically, if you have this guy down, it basically comes into play if you haven't got a Unison card in play already. Well, you need to have a Black Saiyan. So actually this card works with the Black Broly leader, it works with the Black Trunks leader, it works with the Kid Ku leader, it works with Black Mass Saiyan as well. So it's actually open to quite a few different decks, and it's definitely something that is worthwhile to experiment around with. Vegeks, I find him as a really cool leader. The Burst 5 draw one is really good, especially if you're looking at overround decks. But I also know that the card has already been broken a little bit, so we will see. Hopefully it's not gonna get banned. Now, interestingly, the second Unison card we get is also foil. Not the super rare foil, but it is indeed a foil. Now, I like that a lot, actually. Many previous starters and expansions, you find that you open like a very fancy looking card, and the second one is quite meh. You look at cards like Killer Sword Trunks, or like a lot of stuff that came out from like the first sort of 3, 4, 5 core sets starter. It's kind of similar, like you get like one very funky looking and the other one is not foil. So I like this one. They don't look that much different. They will look good in the deck if you put them in like that. Now we got 2 Time Agent Vegetas. This guy There's one here. Let's quickly go through all the starter exclusives, and then we'll look at the reprints. So this guy, this Vegeta, if it's milled from your deck into your drop by a skill, you can basically play it, but you can only have one of these in the battlefield at any point in time because it's a unique card. On top of that, if it's removed, it goes to your warp, and it has an activate battle, which is really good actually. For 2 energy, you can send one of your opponent's battle cards with a 3 or less cost into their warp. I think it's warp. Yes, it is warp. So, you know, this gives you that long-awaited removal, which obviously, yes, we got with Remote Serious Bomb, but this one's built into a battle card, which I always find really cool. It's Activate Battle, you can use it during your opponent's turn. It's a pretty sweet card. Now the other one is, and it's 19k as well. Now the other card is Time Agent Trunks. I find him a little bit more lackluster than Vegeta, to be honest. You can still play him if you mill him, and you will probably mill him. You know, your leader always does. If you want a burst 5 in both sides, you can do a burst 5, which is pretty cool. It also stops you to run out of life, to lose the game. If you run out of cards in your deck, it shuffles back your drops, so that's pretty cool as well. But Trunks, you can also only have one of this guy because he's also unique, and he's a 4K blocker, and that's about it basically. The other thing is like obviously having a free blocker is good. You know, no doubt about that. But I think Trunks is really more like, you know, just staying on par with other colors. You know, who also have, you know, depending from a certain leader, they have access to a free blocker. So, I mean, Trunks is fine in the context of this deck. Obviously, if you then build around him, it becomes a, you know, logarithmically better card. And then we have Supreme Kai, Guardian of Spacetime. She's basically a free super combo if you have 5 or less cards in your hand. That's pretty cool. But then the problem is you have to combo her from your hand. If you do that, that's great. Then you get a 10k combo for free. No card draw, but I think that's really solid still. I mean, obviously, there are a few cards out there. Green has maybe one for the androids that I can remember off the top of my head. If you mill her from your deck, though, she comes into play. And she's a 4k, and that's it. So you can still combo her from the battlefield. Still cool, but you don't get the pseudo super combo effect of her. Overall, I think, to me, the big winners are the Unison card. He can come into play with one loyalty counter if it's milled from your deck. +2, you discard one, which also can, you know, help if you're looking to overrealm. He gets +10k for the turn, so you can just swing him, you know, just an extra one to, you know, attack with. He's -4, he gets +20k and dual attack. And your leader, if Vegix is on the Awakened side, then you can give one of Unison cards double strikes. So that's pretty cool. You get basically a double attack, double strike card, sort of like to go for game with. It's pretty cool. You don't get the draw card when you attack with Vegix, but you do get that card draw off, you know, if you do your burst 5 on this side. This also does basically a burst 5 effect, but it places 5 cards from your deck to your drop. It's not a keyword ability anymore, so you gotta be kind of careful with that if that's important. But you still get the ability to be able to mill. These two, to me, are a little bit more sort of circumstantial, but I really do love these two cards, and the leader is really great, and these can be also very good if they come up in a play. And that's basically it. All the rest of the deck are reprints. As you would expect, obviously being a starter deck, these are our starter exclusives. 4 cards and your leader. So let's have a look at the reprints. We start out with 4 Furthering Destruction Champa. This guy is always good to have in your collection. That double strike, if you combo with him, is just really good. Honestly, he doesn't need any introduction, I don't think. We get 2 Times Judgment counters. This is like set 3. It's okay. It combos fairly well with this guy, you know, reducing your hand size, so you get that super combo ability of her. So there's already some synergy that we see here. We got 4 Time Control Cronoa, which I suppose, you know, it's sort of like she died sort of in terms of usability when Shigesh got banned. But we are getting some sort of a resurgence of that with obviously with super combos like the red green Nappa. So she could potentially come back. Could be a side deck option. I really don't think for like, obviously for a starter it's fine, but she doesn't really do a huge amount in this deck. Except she is on flavor. We got 4 Time Trauma Mass Saiyan. Now this card I used to run in my Demigra deck. Because you can play this guy with another Mass Saiyan, which came out in the first anniversary box. It's a really cool little combo. Gets you some life, cards from your life, which is obviously good. Gets some more card advantage and all that stuff. And it's an okay card. Obviously, it's not like, again, it's not revolutionary, but now this guy is another very good reprint. Only uncommon, of course, but this particular card just absolutely ruins your day if you're running these cards with Vegeks, because obviously then you have to, if your opponent has this out, you have to discard 2 every time you play something without, you know, that's not a, sort of like a what does it say, keyword, a non-keyword skill. Yeah, there you go. So all these guys basically come into play with auto. That's not a keyword skill. You're gonna get ruined if this card comes out. 4 Power Burst, another really good reprint. I'm sure that the veteran players will have the playsets of all these cards. But if you think from a new player's perspective to have all these cards, again, I must say, I think something that Bandai does really well is actually, you know, reprinting a lot of these staples, even at lower rarities. Like, you know, you don't have to go out and just buy these stuff. You get them with your starter, which is great. Now this Goku is really, really good. I actually opened like sort of like 2/3 a booster of set 7. I haven't pulled any of this Goku, so I'm actually glad to have this guy because he's a really cool counter play. Like, you get a body down as well. He's a counter attack, I should say. So that's giving you, we got 4 Power Bursts, we got 4 Goku, and we got 2 Times Judgment. So you got like 10 counters in this deck. You know, just keeping that 1 energy up, you're almost certain to have a counter when you're playing with this deck. So that's pretty amazing. We got 4 Vegeta making an entrance. I quite like the artwork on this card, to be quite honest with you guys. Certainly if you're not running any overround, which this starter deck doesn't, but you know, if you decide to go that route, then maybe you want to be careful when you're running this card, because you need to have 3 battle cards with a 3 cost or higher and 35k or less power to be able to get this card into play. But it's a counter, and that's pretty cool. And for a black color to have this, you know, you can put this guy into any deck. That's pretty sweet. And it's on a 15k body as well. So that's amazing as well. And the artwork is just super good too. I really like this reprint as well. I keep saying I really like this reprint, but honestly, there's some really good stuff in there. Super Saiyan Trunks, the vanilla, 20k. Again, this is still an okay card. If obviously you're running skillless, you probably want to have a few copies of this guy. I'm not saying that skillless is still very much a thing, but you know, if you're not necessarily upgrading every time Bandai drops product, and you're still sort of there, then Super Saiyan Trunks is good to have. Alright, we're getting towards the end of this. Now the super combo in this deck is not the Supreme Kai, which some of you may or may not have expected, but we actually have from set 9, we have Babidi from set 9. I don't like this card, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. And I'm sure a lot of you could argue that, but what I do, like, I'm comparing this card to Supreme Kai, okay? Supreme Kai, most of the time, after I pass for my first turn, it's online and I can play it, and I get the draw of her, and she's a 10k. Because it's almost like, especially with this leader, if you're overwhelming, you're gonna burst 5. Whatever you overwhelm, you're gonna put all your graveyard into your warp, which will immediately activate your Supreme Kai super combo. Now this guy does need a little bit more of a workaround. Now luckily he works with cards from both your drop and your warp, which is obviously definitely good. But you need to have, like, you know, if you're going first, you don't necessarily want to go and burst away. You might want to preserve your deck size a little bit more, although obviously with Vegeks it doesn't really matter, because if you get 20 cards into your drop, then you can transform. I suppose for this particular deck, what's here, this might be a bit of a better use. And what's important about this guy is it kind of scales. So okay, you might not gonna be hitting Supreme Kai level combo power immediately. It might take a couple of turns, but if you go like deep into the game, which is certainly what, you know, they're trying to do with the sort of set 10 onwards, I'm very confident that this card is actually going to be able to like super combo for 15-20k quite easily, which is kind of ridiculous if you think about it. But you're trading the cantripness for just very, very high power. Again, not necessarily a bad thing. A bad thing. The only thing you need to be careful of is it does require you to have all black energy. So don't charge your Champas in this deck if you're if you're playing just the starter setup. And last but not least, we have 4 time bullets, and this is a counter play. Now, time bullet comes out for 2 extra card. If you have a Unison card in play, which is very easy to get into play, again, you know, these two work together very nicely. The battle card that's being played at your counter playing, if it has an energy cost of 2 or less, it's sent to its owner's warp instead of being played. And the big thing about this card is that if you choose to discard 2 cards from your hand, when you can play this card without paying for its energy cost. So you can basically tap out. If you know you got enough cards in your hand, especially some redundant cards that you might not need. Obviously, you can have Time Agent Vegetas, Trunks that you probably don't want to run out for cost of 4 or 3. You just want them to be in your deck. You can use Time Bullet, you know, pitch those 2 cards away, and voila, you just countered one of your opponent's one or 2 drops, which I think is pretty cool. It's certainly a card that I can see a lot of potential in. But also, you know, it's very much matchup dependent as well, is what I would say. And this is pretty much it, guys. This is the this is starter 14, I think. This is starter 14 from the Dragon Ball Super card game from Bandai. As I said, I didn't think that I'm gonna do this again, but here I am. I have done it again. I got another super unboxing for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out some of my other stuff as well on this channel. And, you know, leave a like if you like it, or a dislike if you didn't. I have pretty much tried to give you a perspective of this deck, just basically straight out the box, with a couple of upgrade opportunities. But of course, this is only my 2 cents. So until next time, guys, this is Saiyan signing out. Peace out, YouTube.